Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm Matheus Beck, I'm a software QA engineer, and in this video I'm going to show you how to mock API requests on the browser using Playwright and TypeScript. And for this video, we're going to use the IKEA website. So you might have noticed that I'm using a Windows PC instead of a macOS as my previous videos. That's totally fine. You can use any operational system. I recommend you to use Visual Studio Code, and also I recommend you to install this extension called Playwright Test for VS Code. And I also recommend you to sign in with your GitHub account into Visual Studio Code. By doing that, you can use Copilot for free. There's a free plan, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So let's start by clicking here on Open Folder. I am going to create a new folder here. Wait, let me create a new folder here called IKEA API mock. Let me open this folder instead. Then make sure you have Node installed and also that you have npm installed. So now let's initiate this as a Node repository by typing npm init-y. It will create a package.json file for us. And then to install Playwright, you just have to go to playwright.dev. There's 3 ways to install. Let's use this first one that uses npm. Okay, so just copy and paste. Then let's type enter here to use TypeScript. Let's put our test in an end-to-end folder. Add GitHub Actions workflow. Well, we're not going to use on this video, but that's fine to create. This is important. Install Playwright browsers, type Y to install it. Then it will create our node modules. Then it will create this end-to-end folder for us with this example. Okay. So what we're going to do here is to open any product here because we're going to use product description page to mock our requests. And for example, if you are a tester and you want to test the add to cart functionality, you just have to click on add to cart, and then you can see that your item was added to the cart. If you go to the shopping bag, you can see that your item is there. So if you need to test this using Playwright and TypeScript, you don't need to mock anything. But what happens if you click on add to cart and an error happens, something unexpected happens? It can be anything. You wouldn't be able to verify this if you don't mock this request. So when you click here on inspect and go to the network tab, once you click on add to cart, you can see that your item was added just because there's an API called items that calls a post method and returns 201 created. There's also a response here. So this API is responsible for adding the item to the cart. So what we're going to do is we're going to intercept this request using Playwright, TypeScript, and then we're going to modify the response so it returns 500 instead of 201. And by doing this, we're going to verify how the IKEA website behaves, and then we can create a test that validates if some error message appears or something else. So let me start by copying this product here, this URL, because we're going to use this same product description on 2 different tests. So I'm going to start by typing const product URL equal to, and then this is the URL that we're going to use. So for this test, as you can see, Copilot is already working for us. It's going to be useful in a bit. So this test, we're going to space error when adding product to cart fails. Let me delete all of this. And to intercept these API requests, we are going to use a very popular method here on Playwright called page.root. So if you go here to docs and if you search for page.root, you see that this method provides the capability to modify network requests that are made by a page. So there's also some examples here on how to use it, and that's what we're going to do first. Let's start by typing await page.root, and we have to type await because this will run synchronous. So every time it runs asynchronously, we have to type await before the function, okay? So we're going to route the API request. So let's copy the API URL I'm gonna click on add to cart, and I'm gonna copy this request URL here. Let me paste it in here. Then we're going to do kind of what Copilot is suggesting for us, okay? We're gonna return this status 500 by returning root.fulfill stats 500. And then we can modify the body or the content type, but for this case, we don't have to, okay? We just want to change, instead of 201, we want to return 500. And that's it. Now, to trigger this, we have to do some actions, right? For example, we have to navigate to the page. We're gonna have to navigate to the product URL. Then we're gonna have to click on Add to Cart button. So let's do this. It is suggesting us that there is a button with the Add to Cart. Let's confirm. Yes, it is. So this would probably work. And then we have to click on this button. Okay, okay, it's already clicking here. So once it clicks, we're going to expect that some error message. We don't know what's the error message, so for now it's okay to keep it like this. And let's run this test to make sure what's the error message that should appear, or if some error message will appear. So let me go here to the testing tab. I'm gonna click here on the first one. Let me save this. Now it will update here, display 0. Make sure to have just Chromium enabled for now. We don't have to run in 3 browsers, and make sure the show browsers is enabled. So now I'm going to click on run test. Then, as you can see, it was so fast, but it clicked on add to cart. Our API request was intercepted, and then this toast appeared. Something went wrong. Please try again later. And then our test failed because this is not the exactly same message that is appearing here. Okay, so now let me replace this for this one, which is exactly what appears. And let me run the test one more time. As you can see, it already passes. Okay, it's already passing. So on this first test, we have intercept a post request. And now we're going to intercept a get request. Okay, so for example, if what happens if we want to test a product description page like this one, but the product is not available? How would the page behaves? Okay, so if we go to the network tabs again, and then if we refresh the page, we will see that there is here an API call that returns if the product is available or not. Okay, you can check here on the response, and then it returns the list of availabilities. It returns if it's available for cash carry, for click collect. So for this one, we're going to modify the response of this API request. We could just change the response code to 500 like we did for the first test, okay? But I want to show you other things that you can do with when mocking APIs. So let me start by copying this. This is the API request that we're going to mock. And then for this test, we want to displace unavailable product when out of stock. Then we are going to, one more time, use this same function, await page.root. Okay, let me copy here and paste it here. But now we're gonna use a different API. Let me paste it here. And one thing that you can do is, for example, you don't have to pass the entire string here for this API request. So for example, if we just erase all of this, and if we put asterisk here, it will work still, because anything that starts with this will be fetched by this method. Okay, and now we're not going to change this right now, because first we're going to modify the response. So let's fetch the response. Okay, let me create a response constant, and then let's type await root.fetch. That way we can fetch the response, and then we have to put a sync here. Now const body equal await response dot text, and finally let's modify the body by typing const modified body equal body dot replace. Copilot is suggesting this for us, but we're gonna make it simple. We're just gonna replace the instances where it appears true or false. So we're gonna true, we're gonna replace true, false. But we cannot pass through here directly. We're gonna have to escape those characters. So that slash, and then backslash b, and then backslash b slash g for global. Okay, now it will replace all instances of true for false. And then finally, we're gonna type await root dot fulfill, and then yes, we're gonna return status 200. Don't have to worry about the content type. Let's keep it as it is, but the body will be the modified body. So this root will return for us 200, but with a different body. Okay. Now we don't need this. We just have to perform our actions right now. Okay. So now that we have this, we can just do our actions. Await page.go to product URL. Then let's expect the unavailable button to be present. Unavailable, yeah, page.get by role button name unavailable. We don't know if the button will be called unavailable. It can be out of stock. We don't know. Let's keep it as it is, run, and then fix it. And then we want to expect, for example, that this unavailable button is visible, and also we want to expect that this button is disable because we cannot add a product to the cart if it's out of stock, right? So let's run this test now and see how it behaves. Okay, let me click here. Okay, as you can see, now when I open this page, this button is unavailable and it has sold out online. Okay, cannot click here, we cannot do anything. Now our test has failed because we didn't know how this would be called, but now we can just type here sold out online. Then if we save and run again, yeah, it's here. As you can see, it has passed both of them. So now you have two practical examples, one for a post request, another one for a get request. And these are practical examples on what you can do intercepting and modifying requests on the browser using Playwright and TypeScript. So that was it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just put on the comment. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again one more time and see you next time.